The broken wing's orbital station Perseus hung in the darkness of space like a massive steel flower, its 8 arms extending outward to embrace the void. Inside its metallic corridors, over 50,000 beings from across the galaxy lived, worked, and survived together. The station served as a neutral trading hub, where species from every corner of known space could meet without the tensions of planetary politics. But neutrality on paper didn't always translate to kindness in practice. Zara pressed herself against the cool wall of the residential corridor, waiting for the crowd of Drakari workers to pass. They moved in a formation that showcased their greatest pride, wings spread just enough to catch the artificial light, creating a display of iridescent scales that shimmered like liquid rainbows. Each of them stood tall, their posture radiating the confidence of apex predators who had conquered the skies of their homeworld. She waited until they disappeared around the corner before continuing toward her quarters. Walking among her own kind always felt like drowning in a sea of everything she could never be. Her right wing, small and twisted against her back, seemed to grow heavier with each passing day. The left wing had developed normally, which somehow made everything worse. It was a constant reminder of what almost was, a cruel joke that nature had played on her genetics. The quarters she shared with Marcus were located in Section 7, the engineering district where most of the station's human population resided. Humans weren't numerous on Perseus Station, maybe 200 among the thousands of other species, but they had carved out their own community. They were the fixers, the problem solvers, the ones who could look at a malfunctioning Xanthari plasma conduit or a broken Kolvari environmental system and somehow make it work again. Zara palmed the door panel and stepped inside. The quarters were modest by station standards, but Marcus had made them feel like home. Photographs covered one wall, images of Earth landscapes that Zara had never seen in person but had memorized from Marcus's stories. Mountains reaching toward blue skies, oceans stretching to horizons, forests so green they seemed impossible. Her favorite was the photograph of Marcus holding her as a hatchling, her tiny, malformed wing visible even then, his smile so wide it looked like it might split his face. Marcus looked up from his workbench where he was repairing a navigation module. His weathered face broke into a warm smile, the kind that created deep lines around his brown eyes. "How was class?" he asked in the gentle tone he reserved only for her. Zara set down her data pad and slumped into the cushioned chair that Marcus had modified to accommodate her wings. The instructor talked about the migration patterns of ancient Drakari, how our ancestors would fly for weeks without landing, crossing entire continents. She touched her malformed wing unconsciously. Everyone was so excited talking about their first long flight ceremonies. I just sat there. Marcus put down his tools and moved to sit across from her. He had this way of giving complete attention, as if nothing else in the entire galaxy mattered more than whatever she needed to say. "Did anyone say something?" "They don't have to say anything," Zara replied, her golden eyes reflecting the soft lighting. "Their wings say it all. Every time they stretch or adjust them, every time they discuss flight techniques or aerodynamic theory, it's like they're speaking a language I'll never understand." Marcus leaned forward, his elbows on his knees. "You know what I see when I look at you? I see someone who has aced every engineering exam, who can calculate quantum trajectories in her head, who taught herself 3 additional languages just because she was curious. I see someone brilliant." "Brilliant doesn't let me fly," Zara said quietly. "On the Drakari homeworld, I would have been left to die as a hatchling. Their laws are clear. Genetic defects are eliminated to keep the species strong." "Good thing you're not on the Drakari homeworld then," Marcus said firmly. "You're here with me, and those laws don't mean a damn thing on this station." Zara managed a small smile. Marcus had found her on a transport ship 15 years ago, abandoned in a cargo container by parents who couldn't bear the shame of a defective child. He had been doing a routine engineering inspection when he heard her crying. Station authorities wanted to contact Drakari officials, but Marcus had invoked human adoption protocols, claiming her as his daughter before anyone could object. The Drakari government hadn't cared enough to fight for a broken hatchling. "I have to go to the cafeteria tomorrow," Zara said, changing the subject. "Group project meeting during lunch period." Marcus nodded, though concern flickered across his face. The cafeteria was where the station's social hierarchies played out most visibly. "Want me to walk you there?" "Papa, I'm 20 years old," Zara said, using the human term that had become natural to her. I can handle a cafeteria. I know you can, Marcus replied. Doesn't mean I won't worry. That night, Zara lay in her sleeping pod staring at the ceiling. Through the small window, she could see the stars beyond the station, endless points of light in the infinite dark. Somewhere out there were worlds where beings like her belonged, where wings didn't define worth, where family meant more than matching DNA. She touched the photograph beside her pod, the one of Marcus holding her as a hatchling. Tomorrow would come and she would face whatever it brought. Because if a human without wings could stand tall among species designed for combat, then maybe a Drakari without flight could find her own way to soar,